I did not know what the submarine was that I was going to. The general on the base said it was top secret, and I was only cleared for secret. So he wouldn't tell me that it was a Nautilus. He said I was going to pick up a submarine commander and bring him back into Iceland. That was my mission. This was top secret because I don't think anybody had ever done that before. I assume that they didn't want the world to know at the time, especially Russia and what other people, that are not the submarine had gone under the ice cap. I think after they did that, then Russia wound up going in quite often, doing the same thing. Of course, one of the problems we had was we did not have a hoist. And I think the general was quite concerned about how we would do it. And his aide said we were going to have a briefing with the general about 5 o'clock in the afternoon. And I would brief him on how I would go about picking the commander of the Nautilus up. Of course, at the time I did not know it was a Nautilus, it was just a submarine. So I sat down and I told him that I would have to take and go to the sub, and there would have to have a lantern out there where I could have a reference. And I took off out of Iceland and went on a heading to where the sub was located. By the time I got to our operation area with a helicopter, they towed me back in with tow bar. And by the time I got to the hangar there, the aircraft was heading, I didn't know where, and it was already taking off. And the next morning, the aide to the general came while we were eating breakfast and told us where the aircraft went.
Was that one of the better memories or cooler memories of your career in the military?
Oh, no. I had many of them, several of them. In Vietnam, of course, and I was in Korea. That's where I got my Purple Heart. We were having a push by the Army people. They were on this ridge line, and they were going over the top of it and down in the bottom, and the enemy was down below that ridge line. And so I was directing the fighters to come over the top of it and then drop their ordnance down below the ridge line. And I was circling in the area. And that's when I got hit by ground fire. I had a bullet come up through the fuselage tank and hit my leg in the cockpit. Didn't cause any leg damage other than big flesh wound above the ankle. And I flew the aircraft back to the base with fuel coming out. And I told the Army man I had, observer in the back, I said, if I get out of this airplane and you don't, you got it. It's yours.